him?
Faster than him? Nobody.
You're sure trying hard to make a hero out of me.
You're that already. You just need a special act. Something that'll make your name a legend.
What I don't understand is what difference it makes to you.
A man who's a man needs someone to believe in.
As a movie fan, I do have my opinion on what the best movie ever made was, of course. And for me, it's something that evolves over the course of time. As I get older, my idea of the best movie ever made changes. When I was a kid, it was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Then it was Back to the Future. And for a while, I even would have said that The Burbs was the best movie ever made. And even the best Tom Hanks movie ever. I still believe that, actually, about Tom Hanks and The Burbs being his greatest movie ever. And there's also a funny connection that The Burbs has to all of this, but I'll get to that later. And then for a long, long time, I definitely would have said that The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was the greatest movie ever made. And damn, what a great movie. And many people agree, too. But now, over the years of seeing this movie so many times, and never getting tired of it, never getting sick of it, and I keep finding deeper meaning in its originality and its ability to homage nearly every single style of Western ever made. It's like if all the Western universes collided at once. This would be the result. Almost a love letter to the genre itself. And therefore, I have decided to give the trophy of Best Movie Ever Made to 1973's My Name is Nobody. That's right, Terence Hill is back, and once again playing that title character of Nobody. Only this time around, there's no Bud Spencer to be found. Yep, Bambino's on vacation. Is Terence Hill going solo like when he played Django? Nope, it's even more amazing than that. This time, it's co-starring Henry friggin' Fonda. Yeah, can you believe that shit? Henry Fonda in his final Western. And what an exit. It's the greatest movie ever made. 1973's My Name is Nobody. Or in Italian... So yeah, to clarify, in my opinion, it's the greatest movie ever made. And I'll try to explain why. So here we go. Let's get started. The movie rolls right into this rather desolate looking town, where Henry Fonda, who's playing this aging gunslinger of the Old West, who's looking to retire, as the 1800s are starting to wrap up. Not too different to where Henry Fonda's acting career was at this point, which is why he was doing movies like this. Yep, that old story of the famous gunslingers of the Old West who didn't get themselves killed and got built up into real life heroes and legends, and eventually got old. But still, because of his career choice, has people always trying to kill him. Usually folks trying to make a name for themselves by gunning down one of these legends. Like Henry Fonda here, who's playing Jack Beauregard, the fastest gun and only hope for law and order in the West. And right off the bat, 3 dudes try to kill him while he's trying to get a shave by posing as the barber. Only Jack Beauregard's no fool. He's played this game before and knows right away that this guy aims to do more than give him just a shave. So he puts his gun right on his dick just to let this dude know who he's messing with. So he's real careful now not to hurt the great Henry Fonda. As his 2 buddies outside take a shot at him anyway, miss, and he's forced to gun down all 3 of them, right from where he's standing, and so fast that it sounded like only 1 shot was fired. Damn. So there you have it. Jack Beauregard, fastest gun alive. Then, the real barber's son, in the aftermath of all this mess, asks his pop if there's anyone faster than that guy, who gives him the most certain answer of
Nobody.
Nope, nobody. And boom! The title has landed and the earth poops out a goofball. In the form of, always awesome at his work, blonde-haired, blue-eyed angel himself, Terence Hill, as Nobody. Even on the poster, his saddle that he's carrying over his back looks like angel wings. That's what I'm going with anyway. He's also some sort of variant of his Trinity character, in my opinion, in front of the Trinity movies, if not actually Trinity himself. I mean, yeah, he's pretty much playing Trinity here. And I can prove it too as I go along. Only in the movie he never reveals his actual name. He just goes by Nobody. And then the opening credits roll and enter the greatest piece of music I have ever heard in the greatest movie ever made. What a coincidence, huh? The theme to My Name is Nobody by music genius himself, Ennio Morricone, or Morricone, however you say his name. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Really, I love this piece of music. It actually has the ability to change my mood from like shitty to hopeful and happy. It's amazing what this piece of music can do for me. It's so perfect for this movie and just to listen to in general, along with the rest of the score too, to this film. So what Nobody is doing here is fishing. But since he's a weirdo, he can't do it like a normal person. And Henry Fonda, who just happened to be crossing the river this weirdo spawned from, spots him doing this. He can't help but stop and be baffled by the goofiness that he's witnessing. As the two make eye contact. Yep, now it's on. That was the great Jack Beauregard. I love how even though he's in the presence of this modern, next generation spaghetti western wackiness, Henry Fonda plays it straight the whole time throughout the entire film. And he grows as a character because of it too. So then Jack Beauregard shows up at the last known hideout of his brother, the Nevada Kid. And nearly gets his head blown the hell off by this nut, a guy named Red. Clearly they know each other, but were never all that close. His brother's old drinking buddy, pretty much. So before Red dies from his bullet wound, Jack Beauregard is able to get some information out of him. Like the shootout he was just in was all because of him coming to town looking for his brother, the Nevada Kid, who he says has been hiding out in some Indian settlement somewhere. And then something about a gold find, before telling him to go screw himself and then dying.
You go screw yourself.
And ascending into spaghetti western heaven forever. Then cut directly to the gold mine so we can get some answers.
You and you alone are responsible to me and my men for making the gold legal.
So pay attention. This has to do with the plot. It took a few viewings to fully understand, but it's actually quite simple. The rich guy here with the bug eyes is named Sullivan. He's our main antagonist, everybody, and he owns this gold mine. A mine that he bought for $600 after it dried up. But after he bought it, it suddenly started spewing gold again. And this guy here with the striped pants is the leader of a pack of bloodthirsty cutthroats, known as the Wild Bunch. A bunch meaning 150 purebred sons of bitches on horseback. And for some reason, they don't reveal this guy's face until the end of the movie. I'm still not really sure why. You only know him by his pants and his Josh Randall Mare Leg rifle from Wanted, Dead or Alive. Until his reveal at the end that simply reveals one cool thing to me. He's being played by character actor Jeffrey Lewis, whose daughter is actress Juliette Lewis. Just a little fact there. So the Wild Bunch brings all their stolen gold to Sullivan and pays him to melt it down and add it to his ore that he pulls from his mine so it looks like it's legal gold that came out of the earth, like they're doing here. It's a nice little scam. Only the leader of the Wild Bunch is worried because Sullivan's put a hit out on Jack Beauregard since he got word that he came to town looking for his brother, the Nevada Kid, who's involved with this whole crooked gold mine scheme, along with his buddy Red, but he's in spaghetti western heaven now, so his problems are over. So Sullivan's convinced that Beauregard's gonna kill him unless he kills him first. Only Sullivan's no gunslinger, so he hires out, like a scumbag contractor. The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? And like we saw in the opening scene, Jack Beauregard is not an easy man to kill, even for an old guy. Those three guys at the barbershop were working for Sullivan. Thus, the leader of the Wild Bunch is concerned. This trail of dead Sullivan men will lead right to Sullivan and his mine, and thus expose this Wild Bunch of criminals and their involvement with this whole scheme. And all the leader wants from Sullivan is for him to either pay off Jack Beauregard or just kill him.
You telling me buy Jack Beauregard?
Buy him or kill him,
But just do it already.
but do it fast.
Sullivan's a big puss who's afraid of Jack Beauregard, basically.
You hear me? Fast.
So there you have it. That's the basic plot of the story. But there's far more going on than just that. As we cut to Trinity, who's discovered by three more of Sullivan's hired killers, sleeping in a pile of junk outside of a local general store somewhere. They actually think he's part of the junk. And you may recognize this character actor here. It's R.G. Armstrong. From The Predator, the general guy.
What are you doing in there? Are they sleeping?
And many other things too, I'm sure. That's just the first thing that came to mind. Him and his buddies are making a bomb so they can blow up Jack Beauregard for Sullivan. Only this goofball distracts them, and they end up offering him a horse if he delivers the bomb to Jack Beauregard. And he agrees, since it's the great Jack Beauregard after all, and he doesn't seem to know there's a bomb in there.
It's Jack Beauregard, huh?
But he does, he's just fucking with him. He's just plain stupid.
What?
A bargain's a bargain.
Jack Beauregard then steps out of a telegraph office and goes over to the saloon, which nobody enters, where we see Jack Beauregard has plans on reserving a ticket on a boat to Europe so he can retire and get the hell away from all this shit for good.
Is the ship still there?
Once he finds out what's up with his brother, of course, the Nevada Kid. Then, to help prove my Trinity theory, nobody eats beans right out of the pan, just like Trinity. So nobody starts in on Jack Beauregard and on how much he loves his work.
Someone like you gotta go out with style.
All while holding that basket bomb he's supposed to deliver, which he does, and it's ticking. Nobody explains how the three dudes outside ask him to deliver the bomb to him for a free horse, and then just goes right into the facts that he remembers about Jack Beauregard, because he's his hero, and the names of everyone he gunned down in his lifetime.
5th of March, 1882. Billy Mason, John Murray, Fred Carson. 82 is one of your best years. In April in Albuquerque, 4. Jackson, Johnson, Murdoch, and Champion.
So what nobody really is the world's first fanboy. Only he's a fanboy from the Old West. He admires and loves this guy, Jack Beauregard, the same way we modern goofballs hero worship fictional characters, who are played by actors who are mostly nothing like their fictional counterparts. Wow! It's Harrison Ford, my childhood hero, just walking down the street like a regular person. Wow! He was so awesome in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Oh. Hey, Harrison Ford! Harrison Ford! Hey, Harrison Ford! Harrison Ford!
Fuck off.
Wow. See that shit? Harrison Ford told me to fuck off. What an honor. Hey, he's going into that ice cream shop over there. Harrison Ford eats ice cream? Wow. Just like a regular person. There he is again. Just sitting down like a regular person. Hi, Harrison Ford. You know, when I was 10 years old, I invited you to my birthday, and you never came.
Wish I'd been there.
That's cool. I know you're a busy guy, especially in those days. You know something, Harrison Ford? You ought to do one more great movie before you retire from acting forever. I mean, you are getting pretty old. I did hear that you broke your leg falling out of the Millennium Falcon.
One time.
Can I get a picture with you?
No.
Okay, can I do you any favors? Is there anyone you want me to kill for you?
You.
Good one. See, Harrison Ford has a sense of humor. At least let me buy you an ice cream. What's your favorite flavor?
Rocky Road.
Only back then there were no movies, so your heroes had to be real people, whose lives got exploited to the world in a similar way, through newspapers and books, making them into these larger-than-life characters. So in a way, Henry Fonda is playing himself, as a fictional Western character, and Terence is playing himself, at least if he was a fan of Henry Fonda growing up. It's just something else that makes this movie so fascinating. So anyway, Jack Beauregard asked nobody
How many horses you want to take it back?
only nobody has no problem doing this favor for free.
Oh, none. My pleasure.
For his hero, the great Jack Beauregard, and tosses the basketball right out the door, right back at the three hired thugs who gave it to him.
He says he don't want it.
And kaboom! Goes right off too, immediately. And nobody goes right on talking, not bothered by the bomb that nearly went off in his hand, even though he knew it was a bomb. Like Trinity, very sure of himself. But when nobody heard of the hero, Jack Beauregard,
Everyone knows about Jack Beauregard.
only hope for law and order in the West,
Only hope for law and order in the West.
was planning on leaving and retiring, he insists that he can't just go without leaving in style.
Since I was a boy, I always dreamed of you like that.
So he can go down in history as a legend, not just another hero slinging a gun. That's when nobody tells Jack Beauregard about his big vision he's always had since he was a kid.
150 purebred sons of bitches on horseback, and you facing them alone.
About Jack Beauregard facing off by himself, up against none other than the Wild Bunch themselves, all 150 of them.
The Wild Bunch, they are only 150, that's why.
Only Jack Beauregard thinks that's nuts, even if it does sound cool. And who are you anyway, you bean-eating nut?
Who are you anyway?
Nobody.
Jack Beauregard decides to take off since another attempt was just made in his life. Quite a day he's having. Trinity then has this near little showdown with the three dudes who survived their own basketball and shows off his Trinity-like moves again.
Turn around, you! You mean we gotta shoot it out?
So once again, Trinity. He even said that line about shooting it out.
And I guess now we're supposed to shoot it out, right? Yeah, that's right, Sonny.
Like this.
And what? He didn't even drop his saddle. Is that even possible? Not impossible. It's cool though. See, he lets go of his saddle. Nah, that's our trim. And then again, seconds later, when he does the Trinity getting on the horse, a swingy footy thingy, and this weird overdub.
Blessed is the man who shares his neighbor's burden.
Before he goes chasing after his hero Jack Beauregard again, just like a true stalker. I mean, it is Henry Fonda after all. But then we cut to Jack Beauregard as he rides into the Indian village where his brother, the Nevada Kid, has supposedly been hiding out.
Don't worry, I won't hurt him. He's my brother.
He's pointed in the direction of the only white dude in town, so it must be his brother, right? Only it's not, as he walks into the local cemetery to find...
What are you doing here?
nobody. He beat him here. And now Jack Beauregard's getting a little annoyed with this guy. It's like William Shatner dealing with a crazy Star Trek fan. Then in this scene we get a famous film director reference when we see that Sam Peckinpah's name is on one of the graves.
Sam Peckinpah. That's a beautiful name in Navajo.
He directed the movie The Wild Bunch. Ba-ba-da. Weird. They probably did that on purpose. Then nobody reads off a more relevant name off one of the graves. That of the Nevada Kid. Boom boom.
Nevada Kid.
That's Jack Beauregard's brother. Oh shit.
You know where he is?
Must be down below.
He's dead. Nobody shrugs it off with a little joke. But now Jack Beauregard, perhaps feeling, is this my fault?
Means you ain't going nowhere.
Is a bit pissed. His brother's dead, and this dude won't stop following him around making jokes. Jack Beauregard just assumes he's another yahoo trying to make a name for himself by gunning down the great Jack Beauregard, and tries pushing nobody into a gunfight. Only nobody's not having it. This is his hero, the man he grew up loving and admiring since he was a kid. Most of us can relate. When I was 10, I wanted to be Indiana Jones, and I would pretend to be him. No joke, and I'm sure I'm not alone.
When I was a kid, I used to make believe I was Jack Beauregard.
And now that you're all grown up,
Imagine following around Harrison Ford, hassling him to do one last great movie before he retires. I don't think it would be the same though. There's Harrison Ford again. Man, he's awesome. Can you believe he was in Anchorman too? Yeah, I remember a time where Harrison Ford would be far more picky about the things he would say yes to. I'm gonna go bug him again. Hi, Harrison Ford. How you doing?
What the hell?
You should hear my movie idea, Harrison Ford. It's way better than another Indiana Jones sequel.
Not now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I bothering you?
Yeah.
But I'm a fan, Harrison Ford. I love you.
Nothing better to do.
Not at the moment. Say, why are you so grumpy all the time, Harrison Ford? I mean, being an actor and playing all those iconic characters must be a cool-ass job, Harrison Ford. What's it like?
You do your best. You show up every day. You do your job. And then they just let you go.
Yeah, but the pay is...
Shocking.
I know, which is why you have to do my movie.
Who made you the boss?
Boss? Harrison Ford doesn't need a boss. He's rich. That's why I want to be an actor too, Harrison Ford. For all that money, right?
Do you know how much money you can make selling reverse mortgage?
Reverse mortgage? Are you selling out now like Tom Selleck? Hey wait, Tom Selleck. He almost played Indiana Jones. That's weird. Jack Beauregard takes nobody for the type who needs an audience though. When he kills the great Jack Beauregard. Wants people to see him. Wants him to witness this.
yeah, you're the kind that needs an audience. So you can show off.
And something I immediately noticed in this scene was the music. It's reminiscent to the Once Upon a Time in the West score music used for Henry Fonda's character in that movie, Frank, but more so is the fact that this piece of music was reused years later in the 1989 Tom Hanks' best movie ever, The Burbs. See, I told you it would come back around, where they spoof the spaghetti western close-up. I'm definitely going to show the scene. I don't care if I get a copyright claim from the Burbs.
Go for it, Mr. Peterson. Yes. Let's go.
I saw The Burbs a lot. Still think it's Tom Hanks' greatest movie in my opinion. I saw it a lot of times before I saw this movie, so I recognized that music immediately. So seeing what a fanboy that nobody is, Jack Beauregard lets nobody try on his hat. And what an honor it is for him too. Like trying on Indiana Jones' hat. So with Red and the Nevada Kid now dead, and the 2 attempts that have been made on his own life, Jack Beauregard starts to wonder what this Sullivan guy's up to.
What the hell are he up to?
Oh, you'll find out.
When we get to see the Wild Bunch. Just riding their asses off to this epic Ennio Morricone score that features a little bit of the Ride of the Valkyries if you listen. A little homage to that there from Ennio Morricone. And boy, is nobody serious about Jack Beauregard facing off by himself against the Wild Bunch. He's seen it in his dreams. A vision has come to him as if he's seen the future and it will be.
I see it clear as crystal. Jack Beauregard standing alone, facing the Wild Bunch.
That's when Jack Beauregard then notices nobody's saddle.
You shine like a door of a whorehouse.
I love their back and forth.
Well, I like folks to see me.
Maybe folks don't share your pleasure.
So nobody takes off, just leaving his hero standing there, with the fair warning that it's only a matter of time before they make another attempt on his life. Boy, nobody showed up at just the right time in Jack Beauregard's life. What a strange coincidence, huh? Oh hey, look who's here! Harrison Ford, what are you doing here, man?
I'm sleeping. I'm eating.
Yeah, that makes sense. It is your house after all. I was just making it with your wife, Ally McBeal here. She needed the love of a younger man, Harrison Ford. Know what I mean? How's that make you feel?
Deeply embarrassed.
Well, that's too bad, Dr. Jones, because she was great. Said she loved every minute of it, too. So you're welcome, buddy.
Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, I was just leaving anyway, Harrison Ford. You have fun now. Doing another Austin Powers movie. Whatever the heck it is you're up to now. Okay?
Okay.
So nobody shows up in this town where this Sullivan guy resides, and guess what? This circus is in town. The greatest show on earth.
Out of the way, shorty!
Where are the Flying Thomases? There, nobody takes this little still walker down a few pegs. Steals an apple from a child, gets in on this rather segregated pie throwing contest. Take that, you fat
What did you
bastard.
say the fun of the game is?
Then on to Sullivan's Saloon where they toss this old timer out into the streets.
Sneak that, Grandpa. You stinking mangy polecat.
Nobody then heads inside Sullivan's where there's a drinking contest going on, which he gets in on.
Oh, this is gonna be a lucky chance.
And that's where we get to hear this goofy looking doof speaking another weird overdub that sounds like Fozzie Bear or some sort of Frank Oz creation.
How'd you like to play with this?
Like that?
Lucky shit. Lucky.
He wasn't aiming at you.
And after he wins that drinking contest, we get to see nobody suggest that he's Trinity again. With this scene, that's pretty much taken directly from Trinity Is Still My Name, when he wacky slaps the shit out of this human penis guy here.
Fellas like you never seem to catch on. It's actually very simple. Now pay attention, huh?
You'd like to see that again? It's hard to catch the first time.
She said this funny line to him too. I think it's funny probably because of the overdubs. The overdub's always weird, but it's part of what makes these movies entertaining, I think. Those backwards guns of yours really worry me. Fellas carrying guns like that, bad medicine.
Those upside down pistols of yours really worry me. Fellas that carry them like that are bad medicine.
So all this shit finally gets the attention of the man upstairs.
We make our highest things up here.
You know, the guy that owns this place. Sullivan, the buck-eyed crooked gold mine owner that everyone here seems to work for. Same one who wants Jack Beauregard dead?
But if I don't kill Beauregard first, he'll kill me.
Can't forget those bug eyes. So yeah, that's why nobody did all this. That's why he came to town. To get Sullivan's attention so that he would want to hire him to kill Jack Beauregard for him. Which he does.
Is the game two can play?
If you know the rules,
Who's gonna lose this hand?
the loser will be here tomorrow morning. Name's Jack Beauregard.
Yeah, and he pays him well for what he wants to be a very public showdown that he himself plans on having a front row seat for. So don't miss the show.
Paid for a front row seat. Don't miss the show.
So yeah, our hero just got hired to kill his hero, and he agreed. So boom, we're out in the streets, as nobody is waiting for Jack Beauregard to show up. So we can have a showdown with him, I guess, and make a name for himself as the man who killed the great Jack Beauregard. Fastest gun in the West. Always cool, he's the best. But what about all that facing off against the Wild Bunch shit, right? Just wait. And look, R.G. Armstrong and company are back for more abuse. And boy, nobody's having a lot of fun with that chair as Jack Beauregard shows up in town. Sort of like a younger Henry Fonda did decades ago in My Darling Clementine. Weird, emulating his hero again. So with Jack Beauregard now in town, nobody goes right into shooting and sort of just has fun. Which still keeps Jack Beauregard convinced that nobody's just trying to have a shootout with him to make a big name for himself now that he's got this big audience. The whole town.
Your life's hanging by a thread, Mr. Beauregard.
Well, looks like you finally got your audience, so I guess we can wind up this little story.
But instead he ends up helping Jack Beauregard, even saves his life.
Seems like that hole was just aching for another bullet.
Your acting career is hanging by a thread, Mr. Harrison Ford. Oh, shit. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shoot your iconic fedora. Oh, I put a hole in it too. I'm so sorry. That was an accident. It was an accident, Harrison Ford. I swear it. I'm putting the gun down for now. That's when we spot the Wild Bunch again. They're back. And here the hell they come. Theme music and all. That's mostly what they do. Ride around in a huge pack at full speed. When they're not stealing gold or something. So Jack Beauregard then just sort of strolls past the Wild Bunch, who don't seem all that interested in him yet. I mean, this would be a good time for Sullivan to get the Wild Bunch to kill Jack Beauregard, since he did witness nobody screw him over just now. But, you know, forget that, I guess. Instead, he goes into the telegraph office and puts down his $500 deposit on his boat ticket out of the country.
Request confirmation, reservation, Sundowner, sailing 12 days, stop, $500 deposit follows, stop, sign, Jack Beauregard.
So that shit's definitely happening, unless he gets killed, of course. And then, in this important scene, both Nobody and Jack Beauregard witness as apparently the Wild Bunches in town to stock up on dynamite as we see them shoving it into their shining like the door of a whorehouse saddlebag, like Nobody's saddlebags. I guess they like folks to see them too. Then they ride out the way they rode in, and even take their theme song with them. Sullivan's men then all regroup to go after Jack Beauregard, and now Nobody, since clearly he's helping Jack Beauregard. Then R.G. Armstrong and his buddies try blowing up Jack Beauregard again, only to get caught in the act and blown up themselves.
Light it.
When they literally bring down the house.
Happens to everyone, sooner or later.
The rest of Sullivan's hired dumbasses chase nobody into a funhouse. Of wackiness and mirror fun and death. Yep, dying is funny, I guess.
Nothing funny about death.
Oh, sorry, Henry Fonda. Jack Beauregard then tracks down that old-timer who knew his brother, the Nevada Kid, and Red. Jack Beauregard coaxes him with a little money to tell him exactly what went down, all about that gold mine, so now he knows about it. Once everything ran dry, the Nevada Kid and Red ditched this old guy and took off, and ended up getting themselves killed anyway. Then we cut to Nobody, who's having a lot of fun with this punching dummy. Huh? Hey, wait a minute. I guess Bud Spencer is in this movie. That's close enough, I guess. That's the most Bud Spencer we're getting. Easy paycheck. He has no lines. This wackiness transitions into a killing. Bam, buddy.
Next time, not before you come busting in.
You said it, old-timer. And this is where Jack Beauregard tries to understand what exactly Nobody's deal is.
You playing games?
I mean, he just had his chance for his public showdown, where he could have killed the great Jack Beauregard like he thought he wanted to, but instead ended up saving his life.
There have been a lot of guys tried to kill me just so they could brag about it for the rest of their lives. You had your audience this morning, you had your target.
Nobody then tells this little Aesop-like fable that his grandfather told him.
It was this little birdie who didn't even know how to fly yet.
All about the screaming little birdie who was cold, got shit on but still kept chirping.
Louder than ever.
Until a hungry coyote came along, hearing it, and ate it.
Swallows the birdie down in one gulp.
There's a lesson there. They reused that lesson and that story in the movie Assassins, with Sylvester Stallone many years later.
And then to make matters worse, the cow crapped on him.
But the manure was all warm and it defrosted him, so there he is. He's warm and he's happy to be alive, and he starts to sing. A hungry cat comes along and he clears off the manure and he looks at the little bird and then he eats him.
And the moral of the story is this.
And if you're warm and happy, no matter where you are, you should just keep a big mouth shut.
Either way, the old guy's lost.
Coyote, cow pies. Don't make no sense to me, no how.
And using the pool table as a metaphor, Jack Beauregard explains to Nobody that he just wants to have a standard showdown, alright? Stop jerking around.
This is the good guy who's got to avenge his brother. This is the bad guy who's gonna get killed because he shot the good guy's brother. And this
is my blue-eyed angel who protects me from harm.
That's Nobody.
That leaves you and me face to face.
But Nobody is still dead set on that image that he's always had of his hero, Jack Beauregard. Facing off by himself against 150 nuts on horseback, strapped with saddlebags of dynamite, so he can go down in the history books as a legend.
That leaves you alone against 150.
And all this sounds quite glorious and all.
You're sure trying hard to make a hero out of me.
Yeah, that already. You just need a special act. Something that make your name a legend.
But Jack Beauregard is still just baffled and can't figure out why the hell this matters so much to this guy.
What I don't understand is what difference it makes to you.
This random nobody who popped out of nowhere and started hounding him all over the West like a psycho fanboy. And so he tries to explain. I like this scene too. It's deep and emotional. And it's the real heart to what this movie is all about and why I love it so much.
A man who's a man needs someone to believe in.
I've had all kinds in my life. Thieves and killers, pimps and prostitutes, con men and preachers. Even a few fellas that told the truth. The kind of man you're talking about, never.
Maybe you've never met them. Or hardly ever. They're the only ones who count.
He says it a little funny, but I really know what Nobody means by that kind of person. Even Jack Beauregard does. It's just so rare that they exist. It's something I would strive to be, though. Something we should all strive to be in our own way. Something about embodying the parts of your heroes, who you worship and encourage you to do good, noble things. And stay honest and always do the right thing. Not for your own benefit, but to maybe inspire others to live up to that and make it better in their own way. Make it real, not just some myth. Like you said, something to believe in. Preserve the illusion and accept the fact that the reality is filled with flaws. It's a positive message and I really like it. This does convince Jack Beauregard to go face Sullivan, however.
Reckon this fella's name is Sullivan.
Reckon it is.
Hey! He's taking Sullivan away!
With nobody's hopes that he'll kill Sullivan for killing his brother, the Nevada Kid. Revenge. Then by killing Sullivan, the Wild Bunch will know that Jack Beauregard's onto their little gold mine scam and then come after him.
There's my childhood hero again. Found him. Harrison Ford. Time to bug him again. Hi, Harrison Ford. It's me again, Farmer Spaghetti. Remember me?
You son of a bitch.
Why are you mad, Harrison Ford? I didn't do anything.
You're the one who couldn't keep it in your furry pants.
Calm down. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Seriously, everybody, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
He knows what he did.
All I did was have sex with Ally McBeal. What's the big deal, Harrison Ford?
She was my wife.
If you kill me, the Wild Bunch will know that you're onto their game.
And boom, his dream come true. His hero, Jack Beauregard on one side and the Wild Bunch on the other, and him facing them off. That's what he wants. So Jack Beauregard shows up at the mine and faces off with Sullivan. Only, he has a little change of heart here. Sullivan explains how the Wild Bunch wanted Sullivan to pay everyone off or kill him.
They told me kill him or buy him.
Nevada Kid got all greedy and wanted another share, ended up stealing other people's shares, and got himself killed. And it turns out that it was actually Red that did it.
You know what Nevada was like. We had a little agreement, him, Red, and me, for an extra share between us. And you know even better than me how he hated sharing anything. And he deserved the bullet he got. Red did it.
Wasn't even Sullivan. So yeah, Nevada Kid, Jack Beauregard's brother, he was a dick, alright? Sullivan even offers Jack Beauregard Nevada's share. So he agrees.
But I kept his share. And it's yours now. Take all you want.
You better just retire and go to Europe. Get on that boat you booked passage on. So that's what he does. He just takes enough money for his boat ticket, takes Nevada Kid's share of the gold, 2 bags, and leaves Sullivan there alive and well. Another spaghetti western where the main villain is not killed. He even tells Jack Beauregard when the next train out of town's leaving. For New Orleans!
How do we get the train for New Orleans?
Follow the tracks east to Kimball. There's a train from there every Friday.
So bye. Take care. Good luck with your crooked gold mine and things. As soon as he leaves though, a very disappointed nobody is waiting for him outside.
Disappointed?
Hoping to have heard a gunshot from the execution-style murder he was expecting, I guess.
Yep. Thought I could count on your brotherly feeling.
Jack Beauregard then goes on to explain how not so old-fashioned he is after all. And Nevada Kid may have been his brother and all, but it wasn't worth getting himself killed over. He was sort of a backstabbing thief and scumbag by the sounds of it.
Beats me. Kids like you think because a man's older than you, he goes along with old-fashioned notions like blood's thicker than water. Sure, Nevada's my brother. He's a grade A skunk who shot people in the back. I ain't risked my life to avenge him.
My, how modern the old folks have become.
So Jack Beauregard takes off and heads for his boat to Europe, but there's no way. Nobody's letting it end here, right?
If you're still thinking about the Wild Bunch, forget it. I ain't taking him on.
He has his vision in his head, and he'll be damned if it isn't made a reality.
You will, Jack. You will.
Jack Beauregard will face off by himself against a Wild Bunch of 150 dickheads, led by an overdubbed Jeffrey Lewis, whether he likes it to hell or not. Again, like Trinity, once he has something set in his mind to get done, he gets it done, and rides his ass off, for a while too, just so he can beat the Wild Bunch to a train loaded with gold as he goes into fanboy excitement mode. And messes with the train conductor while he's taking a leak, all just so he can steal the train before the Wild Bunch gets to it. Whoa, ballsy move.
Who's driving it? Ooh!
You go, nobody.
They stole the train!
So the army guarding the train unsuccessfully chase after it on foot when closed circle. This sends the Wild Bunch after the train, of course. But that was sort of the point. When we cut to Jack Beauregard, who walks alone along the tracks with his horse when he spots the Wild Bunch in the distance. headed his way, too. When he decides to just say, you know what? Fuck it.
There's only 150 of them, but they ride like they were 1,000.
Might as well take on the Wild Bunch. We all gotta go sometime.
Man's gotta quit sometime.
Jack Beauregard's in for a bit of a surprise when nobody shows up around the corner with the gold train, bringing the action right to him. Jack Beauregard tries getting on the train, but nobody won't let him, of course. Not until he fulfills his destiny. Boy, he really wants this to happen. He even made himself a wanted man now by stealing that train. So this shit is happening. No turning back now.
You'll be written up in all the history books.
And you'll be down on earth reading them while I'm under it in my grave.
And it is glorious. He's even gonna put on his old man Henry Fonda golden pawn glasses for this shit. And remember those shiny saddlebags of dynamite? Hope you didn't blink or go out for his shit while that was happening. Cause it's coming into play right now. They both see it and know it too.
Shine like the door of a whorehouse.
I like folks to see me.
Again, it's like nobody knew this would be a factor the whole time. Is that why he had the same shining saddle too? It's almost like nobody actually did see the future when he was a kid and knew it had to happen just like this. He just didn't know exactly how it would all play out. He described it exactly like it happened, because he would actually be there.
Jack Beauregard standing alone, facing the Wild Bunch.
Just another one of my Matrix theories. So the shooting is on as the Wild Bunch gets closer. Jack Beauregard starts taking shots at their saddlebags that he knows are loaded with dynamite and blowing the shit out of them. My only concern here is for the horses. I'm sure in reality, dynamite would have killed the horses too. Maybe even blown them to pieces. Wilbur! I can't find my freaking legs, Wilbur! Loving it though. Nobody's taking a body count. And damn, they're making this as epic as they can.
Your end in history. Your end in history.
Who's taking these pictures for the history books anyway?
Your end in history. You ended in history.
This is some awesome victory music. I love it. Ba 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 da da Henry Fonda. So when nobody decides that, yeah, he's blown up enough people and horses, he picks up Jack Beauregard as they ride away on a stolen train loaded with gold, just in time as the remaining Wild Bunch chases after them, with that homage to the westerns from the silent era, with the closing circle wide shot. Yes, awesome. You go, Henry Fonda. You go. You can retire now. Go to Golden Pond and be with the loons, Norman, the loons. Man, that was a great scene. I like it more every single time I see it. Your end in history. Your end in history. You ended in history. Where's my childhood hero? He's supposed to be here too, so he can go out of Hollywood like a proper legend. What the hell? Oh no. Say it ain't so. It is! The bugger made it! Okay, stop!
Not quite what I expected from Indiana Jones, but okay. Now get up, you're embarrassing me. A refrigerator? What the hell was that? You know what? Forget it. Then nobody celebrates by eating beans! Right out of the pan, Trinity style again. And how fortunate that that train had beans and a skillet handy too. Only this time, it's real special. This time, Terence Hill shares his beans and enjoys them with Henry friggin' Fonda. Is this not the most beautiful scene in spaghetti western history? If not the most beautiful scene in movie history ever? Terence Hill and Henry Fonda enjoying beans on a train together. I've died and gone to heaven. It's all led to this comforting few minutes of enjoying beans with your idol, Henry Fonda. I like to think that when Terence Hill was filming this scene, he was appreciating it as much as I would if I was eating beans with Terence Hill. Because that would be such a cool memory to have committed to film forever. A real honor. As it must have been for him, working with someone like Henry Fonda, a legend like that, in the acting world. This is how you pass the torch to the next generation, folks. It's gotta have heart and a deep love for what you're doing. He still loves the shit out of his hero and never lost faith in him. Even after meeting him and seeing that he was a flawed, imperfect guy too. Making him only human, but still a hero and now a legend nonetheless. At least to guys like Nobody. And still, Jack Beauregard is so baffled by this guy Nobody. What a character. Like he said, the type of fellas you never meet. Or hardly meet anyway. Jack Beauregard didn't realize he kind of likes, even loves this guy. But now that Nobody's dream came true and Henry Fonda's going down in the history books for blowing up Seabiscuit, he's all like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? That's when Nobody says, you gotta die.
You gotta die.
He's joking, of course. What he really means is they have to fake a gunfight in a very public place so he can exit the old West clean. Fake his death, so he can retire in peace. Which they do on the streets of New Orleans.
They're gonna shoot each other!
So it's a spectacle, alright. In a showdown, you even get a picture of people everywhere. Now Nobody is somebody, and there's physical proof. A very organized shootout. They play that Burbs music again. Ennio Morricone. Damn, he's the best.
I told you your life was hanged by a thread.
So, with everybody now thinking that Jack Beauregard's dead, shot in the streets of New Orleans by Nobody, they go after him now. Nobody. But that was the idea.
Well, that's one. Let's get the other!
Then we get to hear Jack Beauregard read his long-ass letter to Nobody. As he settles in on that boat he had passage on, the Sundowner, heading for Europe, and off to his retirement. It's a good heartfelt letter too that really sums everything up. As Jack Beauregard basically thanks Nobody for everything he did. Without Nobody's involvement, Jack Beauregard probably would have ended up getting killed, never retiring or learning anything about the life he led, and the generation that he came from and its significance in history.
You can preserve a little of that illusion that made my generation tick. Because looking back, it seems to me we were all a bunch of romantic fools. We still believed that a good pistol and a quick showdown could solve everything.
It's good to leave no loose ends. So it's come down to this, huh? A showdown with my hero. Play some Burbs music. Wow, Harrison Ford. I remember one time you said you'd never play Han Solo again. Did you change your mind? This is so you don't actually make a sequel to Regarding Henry. I told you your career was hanging by a thread, Harrison Ford. Wow! Harrison Ford touched my face. I'll never wash my face again. There! Now you can retire from Hollywood clean. We'll forget Hollywood homicide ever happened, Harrison Ford. Bye! Rap! All staying true to itself with that general message of preserving the illusion that made the Wild West so magical. Even though the realities can be a lot more realistic and dark. The John Wayne westerns tried to do that. Preserve the illusion. The whole reason John Wayne didn't like the other kind of westerns. Not showing the gritty reality. Still though, I would have loved to have seen John Wayne do at least one spaghetti western. But he never did, because he wasn't into that. Jimmy Stewart too. Then Nobody steals another apple from a child. He has a real problem with that. As he sees his hero off, Jack Beauregard then goes on about the changing times, and now that nobody has basically assumed the role of fastest gun around, so you better look out. Not as glamorous as you think. Only nobody seems to enjoy this lifestyle, while Jack Beauregard seems like he's always trying to get away from it. Times are changing, man. Turn of the century right around the corner. The ways of the Old West are a dying way of life. It's gonna be a little bit different for nobody's generation, until it comes time for him to retire. So yeah, Jack Beauregard, he went from badass gunfighter to chattery old retired man on a boat.
I was getting to be one more old timer, and the years don't make wisdom, they just make old age.
Screw Europe, get your ass to Golden Pond so you can win that Academy Award already.
You pick up.
Bend over? Right.
On the ground where they belong.
This time they pick blueberries on a bush, didn't have to bend over at all.
These are strawberries and they grow on the ground.
And then in the final scene of the movie, we see nobody showing up at the barber shop for a shave. Sound familiar? Then we see who the barber is. Yep, Jeffrey Lewis, leader of the Wild Bunch. He's found him. He's not the barber. He's here to kill ya. So yeah, the movie came full circle. And like Jack Beauregard, nobody's no idiot. And tricks Jeffrey Lewis into thinking he has a gun on him by sticking his fingers into his butthole region. And then we freeze frame on that shot of Terence Hill's fingers up Jeffrey Lewis's ass. You said your finger was a gun. And that's it. Fine. Indeed, it was fine. That was the greatest movie ever made. My Name is Nobody. Which leads me right into my final thoughts on this perfect movie. I'm sure a few people would agree with me when I say this is the greatest movie ever made. But oh well, to each their own. But that's the point. I could talk about why this movie is great for hours, but my videos are too long anyway. I can see why most women wouldn't relate to this movie as the greatest movie ever made, since it's basically just another sausage fest, except for a few female background characters. And that's fine though. The story they were telling, and where all the action was taking place, didn't involve many women, if any. So shoving one in there would seem pointless and not make much sense, like you were doing it just to have a woman in there. Not that the subject matter of hero worship isn't relatable in women as well. This just isn't that story. This film embodies everything that made the Westerns great. Like I said, it has a touch of every style of Western that they could squeeze in there. From the American Westerns to the Italian Westerns to the actual filming locations of this movie. Unlike most spaghetti Westerns, My Name is Nobody was filmed all over the place. Portions of it were filmed in Spain, Italy of course, and even the United States, mostly in New Orleans. This movie takes the wackiness of Trinity, the more seriousness of Henry Fonda, and makes it into a Western comedy drama. Two actors from both sides, the Italian Western star and the American Western star. I'm so glad Henry Fonda was willing to do these spaghetti Westerns, unlike John Wayne, who was from the same generation, even if it was just because he was in a more dwindling time in his acting career. I'm glad he did it. It's so perfect. I really enjoy Henry Fonda as an actor. He's always so professional and always great. Then there's the whole plot of hero worship, envisioning your heroes as these larger-than-life characters like you do when you're a kid. But when he meets him in real life, sees that he's just as messed up as anybody else too. And his vision of himself is nowhere near what his biggest fan's vision of him is. His biggest fan has built him up into this huge monument in his mind. Now I heard that Sergio Leone came up with the idea for this movie. It even says it in the opening credits. Probably because he could relate to that. Being a fan of American Westerns and then pretty much inventing the spaghetti Western style. So thank you, Sergio Leone. May you rest in peace. I know he's dead and all, but he was a fanboy too, from his own time. And before I ramble on too much more, I'll end with my sequel idea to this movie. I'll just give you a rough summary real quick. I'm calling it Your Name is Somebody. Obviously, it's going to have Terence Hill in it as nobody. He's still alive. He's 83. He's going to be 84 pretty soon, but he's still alive. It's 1938. It would start off with this old guy around 80. He used to ride with the Wild Bunch 40 years ago. Now, a partially retired old dude, he's turned bounty hunter and has been searching for nobody for the past 40 years. Not just for the reward, but in hopes of recovering whatever remains from the gold that was on that gold train. He manages to track down the only known living child of Jack Beauregard's, a daughter he had some time back but barely knew. Beauregard had a daughter that he was corresponding with from where he retired in Europe, proving he's still alive. She's also in her 80s now, and at first assumes this old guy asking questions was just another fan of her dad's legendary status. Only he's different. He seems more interested in Nobody and his connection with Jack Beauregard, as she explains to her son later. He even had a copy of the photo taken of Nobody and Jack Beauregard in their gunfight, and thinks it was faked. When you think about it, that photo is a strong piece of evidence in Nobody's involvement and whether or not it's even a real shooting. He even has some physical proof from the Sundowners ticket office where Jack Beauregard purchased his boat ticket. So her son, who grew up listening to the stories about Nobody and Jack Beauregard and built Nobody up in his mind to be this big hero too. Same idea as Nobody. Fascinated by this tale of Nobody, follows the bounty hunter who heads to war-torn Europe looking for Jack Beauregard's last known whereabouts. So he's got this illusion of greatness in his mind. And when he finds out this bounty hunter is going to Europe to track down where Jack Beauregard ended up and perhaps maybe even capture and maybe even kill Nobody, would probably definitely be dead by now. And the bounty hunter does indeed track down the real grave of Jack Beauregard, who was going under an alias, obviously. And then there's Nobody, who's also in his 80s at this time, and until this bounty hunter shows up and tracks him down. And then Jack Beauregard's grandson shows up. And the two feud at first, but when an SS battalion of evil Nazis led by a ruthless, murderous general and his evil colonel, who are also after the school, forcing everyone to work together for the big showdown. Then he can help Nobody retire and make him do something crazy like take on the whole German Gestapo army or some shit like that. I don't know. Now working together to defeat this pocket of evil in the middle of like war-torn Europe during World War II. Sounds cool. Come on, be awesome. Give it that spaghetti western style too and feel. And I want the bounty hunter to be played by Harrison Ford. And I want Jack Beauregard's daughter, you guess, Jane Fonda. It's a work in progress. I wanted to give off that same message about embodying those larger-than-life parts of your heroes and staying true to what's right and good. Be that person you hardly meet. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the best movie ever made. My name is Nobody. Adios, and I'll see you at the movies. Hey Spaghetti Western fans, getting bored with your vintage Space Invaders arcade machine? A little, yeah. Well, do you like My Name is Nobody? And do you like vintage arcade machines? You know I do. But prepare to have your mind blown as we present to you the My Name is Nobody vintage arcade machine. My mind is blown. Now you can hound Henry Fonda all over the West until he agrees to do what you want him to do. And why? Because you're his #1 fan, that's why. Now you can know what it feels like to face off against 150 purebred sons of bitches on horseback. Take on the Wild Bunch and you'll end in history, just like the great Henry Fonda.
You'll end in history. You end in history.
Yeah! This is the greatest game ever! How the hell do I get one? At your local Walmart for $10,000. You asshole. Guess I'll just play this theater on one here. How many orders does it take? 10,000. Scumbags. Take credit? Of course. Own your very own vintage My Name is Nobody arcade machine for only $10,000. Available to assemble at home at your local Walmart and Dollar General. Own the My Name is Nobody vintage arcade machine today before Henry Fonda blows the shit out of you and your horse.